developing the skill of being able to recognize when somebody is being manipulative, to being able to recognize when someone is going to or trying to mistreat you or use you. I would say definitely to keep your eyes open, watch other people.
Hello and welcome. My name is ShaneidaMonique, and today we're going to discuss famous narcissistic women. Now, these are women that, in my opinion, are narcissistic, and where there is different types of narcissism. Like we have the covert narcissist, which is very like undercover, narcissistic person who likes to do things maliciously and unseen. Whereas we have someone like the grandiose narcissist, which is someone who is very flamboyant and charming and well-liked. All right, so I have a list here of famous people that I think are narcissistic. But again, my thoughts, my views, my opinion. All right, obviously these people aren't diagnosed as narcissism because, I mean, when you have fame, money, influence, why would you go to therapy and get diagnosed as a narcissist? Why? Why when your life is so great? Okay. But if you have anybody that I've left off my list, feel free to leave a comment. So the first narcissistic woman that we're going to talk about is the Queen Madonna. Now, Madonna to me is narcissistic, and she has a combination of narcissism when it comes to her. A lot of the stories that were told about Madonna, especially from like, I think Michael Jackson has interviews here and there where he discussed how Madonna was jealous of his career and jealous.
Jackson does paint Madonna as envious when he talks about jealousy in Hollywood.
They admire you and know you're wonderful and great, but they're jealous because they wish they were in your place, wish they were in your shoes. And M is one of them. Madonna, she's not a nice. She hasn't been kind. Absolutely. She's a woman, and I think that's what bothers her. Women don't scream for other women, and men are too cool to scream for women. And I get that.
Michael Jackson has interviews here and there where he discussed how Madonna was jealous of his career and jealous of like his fame, and how people would go to his concerts and pass out, which was absolutely true. Like if you Google Michael Jackson concerts, like they had ambulances on deck for the amount of people that would just pass out. But he would talk about how jealous Madonna was of that, and she wanted that fame and fortune for herself. Now, although Madonna is famous, right? She's well known. We love her. She's still doing, I think she's still doing concerts and stuff like that now. But when it comes to being a narcissist, though, I say Madonna's on that list. So our second one, unfortunately, I love this girl, but it's gonna have to be Rihanna. Rihanna to me is highly narcissistic. Now, there's a difference between Rihanna's narcissism and like Madonna. I feel like Rihanna's narcissism is based upon her attracting narcissistic men.
Salacious interview. Too. You fell in love with the beast.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much my dating record so far.
You get back with Chris Brown, or is it just crazy talk? No.
And I feel like that's more so of, I'm going to coin this phrase right now, but narcissism by association. Whereas the narcissistic men that she dates and she attracts, eventually she takes on those characteristics and they become her own. Like anybody that we date, we know that if you date somebody for a long period of time, you start to take on their traits. You start to take on their mannerisms and some of their behaviors. Now, if the person that you're dating is a narcissist, then you're probably going to take on some narcissistic traits that did not originate with you, but definitely you are now participating in. All right. And for me, I think that Rihanna she definitely has some like narcissistic traits. I think that it's more so narcissism of like a grandiose narcissist. I think that the men that she has dated in her past have been mostly grandiose narcissists. And so she has taken on some of those traits, and she's still fairly attracting narcissistic men, unfortunately. Next up, number 3 is going to be Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj, also a grandiose narcissist personality, which is understood only because she is a woman that's fairly surrounded by men. She's in a male-dominated industry. You know, within society, sometimes women, they are called to be a little bit more, I guess, grandiose in order to compete with men, in order to put herself on a pedestal so that she's not taken advantage of financially, sexually by these men that she's in the industry with.
Thank you, I'll handle it. Hi, do you have a steamer? Thank you, send one up, please. They don't have a steamer, right?
The jacket don't look
The
good.
jacket looks great.
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about, but every
great.
woman in here is gonna like the jacket. Please, you wore a jean vest.
Now, she used to date Safari, which I'm gonna tell you right now, I think that Safari is narcissistic as well. So again, this leads me into like when I say that sometimes women take on the traits that their partner actually has when it comes to like not necessarily being a narcissist, but being with this person brings out the narcissism within you. All right, another example of that would be like Khloe Kardashian, which I spoke about in another video of mine. That's my take on when it comes to women actually dating narcissistic men. You will take on their characteristics. You will take on their traits. And speaking of the Kardashians, we're going to go into my next two, which is Kris Jenner and Kim Kardashian. Now, again, I think that this is more so narcissistic by association. What's unique about Kim is the fact that I think that she got a lot of her traits from her mother, Kris. The key really lies within her mother. Now, her mother is very covert, whereas she does feel empathy. And now these narcissistic women who are guilty by association, I feel like they do feel empathy, but it's a choice whether you choose to feel empathy and do the right thing, or if you're going to say, you know what, money is more important, my career is more important, I'm going to take this L, and you know, and so be it, which is what we kind of deal with today in society. And I don't think that anybody would disagree with saying that Kim Kardashian is narcissistic. Again, another person and her mother who date narcissistic men, who date highly narcissistic men. For me, when it comes to Kris Jenner, I feel like her ex is narcissistic. When it comes to Kim Kardashian, again, everybody knows that like Kanye West, it has some, you know, grandiose narcissism within him. Now, I don't think that, you know, narcissism is technically a bad thing. I think that it is bad when you hurt people and you do things in spite of knowing that the difference between right and wrong. You know, there are narcissistic people out here who it's not even about doing the right thing. It's more so them doing what's best for them in spite of who they hurt along the way. That I don't agree with, you know what I'm saying? But on to our next famous narcissistic woman, it would be Taylor Swift. Now, Taylor Swift, first of all, she's a self-aware and self-proclaimed narcissistic person. All right, you can hear it in her songs. There are, you know, it's evidence if you listen to any of her songs that she's highly narcissistic, but she knows, like, and I don't want to say that that's the beauty of it, but she knows that she's narcissistic. Now, you know, Taylor Swift has dated a couple of people, but I think that her narcissism is a self-aware, self-proclaimed narcissist, whereas it's different from her just having a personality disorder. She developed this. And next one is another famous woman, but you know, I'm not even gonna sprinkle it. It's Caitlyn Jenner. I think she was a narcissistic man, but as a woman, oh, she even worse. She got worse. I don't know if maybe she was watching, you know, the others maneuver and thinking to herself, oh, I think that it's better on that side. But again, as a woman, I think that she's completely freaking narcissistic. And the evidence to me when it comes to like these, you know, very famous people is that all you really have to do is just watch. Watch on camera, watch on, you know, on the old episodes, but watch it as her being who she is now, as Caitlyn Jenner. That's who you're gonna see, like little sprinkles of narcissism here and there. All right, so the next one is going to be Amber Heard. Now, a lot of people already called Amber Heard out and said that she's narcissistic, especially after the Johnny Depp trials, and where we got to see her on display and hear like the craziness just spilled out of her mouth. And it's funny because like when it comes to these celebrities, like you never know what's going on behind closed doors. But when somebody sheds a little light and you see all the cockroaches running around, it gets real sticky. But Amber Heard, I feel like she's another narcissistic person. And I would say that Amber Heard is more so one of those covert narcissists. One of those people that play nice, get to know you, get to know what your weaknesses are, and then turns on you. She creates the roller coaster, the hot and cold, right, to lure you in and then eventually just abuse you and take advantage of you. I feel like that's kind of the narcissist that she is. Now, people have said that Meghan Markle was like, you know, narcissistic as well, but I don't follow her to see examples like that with her, so I'm not sure about that one. Okay, next one is Mariah Carey, who I love Mariah, but Mariah is clearly narcissistic. All right, we knew that when Mariah was on Cribs and she was on the treadmill in them shoes.
Here, look at New York, things of that nature, all the while in my 4-inch heels and the black ensemble. I don't know, my brother put all this equipment in here. I really don't know how to use most of it.
There's like tabloids and stuff like that where they say like, you know, her antics, what her requests are as a celebrity when she goes to certain venues, when she shows up for appearances, and you know, and based upon that, like just her requests are just, you know, kind of crazy. But hey, she's a diva, right? And divas fairly narcissistic. That's the diva in them, right? Like diva is / narcissist. Okay, so another one who I feel like is highly narcissistic. And I also feel bad because I also feel like she attracts narcissistic men, or maybe she just attracted one. Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams has a grandiose narcissist, a very flamboyant style about her, over the top. So, and also a little cunning, little covert. Initially, she started on the radio, and it was basically she made a career, you know, letting go of all the celebrity gossip and stuff like that. And when you think about a narcissist who loves to exaggerate or loves to have the tea, loves to gossip, someone who loves to paint themselves out as the victim, whereas they're actually the puppet master and pulling the strings, it kind of reminds me sort of that. I think like it's very hard to tell when a woman is narcissistic because she can put on such a facade of caring and being popular and whatever, and we kind of fall into that because we want to be friends with her, we want to be, you know, in her presence, we want to have her essence around us. And sometimes you cannot pinpoint that she is narcissistic, and I think that it's extremely hard for men to pinpoint narcissistic women. They think that the narcissistic women is just the ones posing on Instagram with their, you know, with half dressed, with their booty out or whatever. And that's really not the case, okay? There's a lot of narcissistic women that wear turtlenecks, okay? It's not always the scantily clad woman that you would think. Like there's other areas and whatever that kind of would point out to her being narcissistic. I would say to pinpoint if a woman is narcissistic, you have to look at her circle. You have to look at her friend group. And I would say a really, really big key in all that is if she talks badly about her friends. If she talks badly about her friend group, her best friends, people that are the closest to her, if she doesn't really have anything to say about them, anything nice to say, she's just kind of like dogging them out, and you are listening to this as her man, that should be a red flag for you. That's going to be easy. Like if you have a girl and she claims that she has all these friends, but she's never saying anything nice about her friends, then that for you as a man should be a red flag. If you, in fact, have any add-ons, then feel free to leave them below. I'm sure I'm leaving out a ton of people. There's a ton of people probably on like the Housewives. I'm sure there's a couple on each reality TV show that we could kind of just pull and pinpoint or whatever. But I think that if you're a person whereas you're developing the skill of being able to recognize when somebody is being manipulative, to being able to recognize when someone is going to or trying to mistreat you or use you, I would say definitely to keep your eyes open. Watch other people. Be observant. All right. Listen to your gut. Listen to yourself when something says that's not right. All right. So like always, I hope that this was helpful. And if you made it this far, then please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment. All right. And if you also think that it was helpful and it can help somebody else, then share it. I would appreciate it. That's going to be it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I will chat with you soon.